With the second sitting of the primary exit profile PEP exam in just a few weeks, we assessed last year's performance and outlined procedures for this year. The details from Terry and Thomas Gale from the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information later in the show. Plus,
one by one, shining like them up. Let's kick evil out of town, yeah.
It's Reggae Month and we recap some of the performances to date.
I was born in April and a christening May. Sure I wanna see that shiny day. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
This is Jamaica Magazine and I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome.
The ECJ will be renewing all voter ID cards. Visit any EOJ constituency office or voter ID card renewal center if your card has an issue date of 2015 or before. Cards with issue dates 2016 or later will automatically be reprinted. The ECJ will notify cardholders when cards are ready. Current ID cards will be valid until December 2020. For more information, contact the ECJ.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 6. A national coordinating mechanism will be established as part of government's vigilance and protection measures against the novel coronavirus. The directive comes from Cabinet, which has instructed the Ministry of Health and Wellness to liaise with various partners to establish the coordinating mechanism. In a press briefing yesterday, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said it would have multiple stakeholders, likely led by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, OPM.
So OPM would play a dominant role in pulling all the teams together. The Ministry, of course, will play an important role in providing technical health leadership. And so over the next few days, we have already started working on it. We will pull together this national coordinating mechanism.
In the meantime, Dr. Tufton says the heightened travel restrictions for persons traveling to and from China remain in effect. The restrictions allow landing privileges for only Jamaican nationals, permanent residents, and those with marriage exemptions. They will, however, have to undergo rigorous checks and monitoring.
All travelers would be subject to immediate quarantine and for a minimum of 14 days. And travelers who show any symptoms of the novel coronavirus will be put in immediate isolation.
Up to the time of his briefing Thursday morning, Dr. Tufton said 13 persons were in quarantine, while an individual with flu-like symptoms had been placed in isolation for checks and observation to validate or rule out any possibility of having the virus. Dr. Tufton adds that 329 frontline employees at the ports, as well as the entire healthcare fraternity, have been engaged in preparatory training for the novel coronavirus. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced February 12 as nomination day for candidates vying to contest the Clarendon Southeastern constituency by-election. The by-election is set for March 2. The seat became available on Tuesday when Member of Parliament Rudyard Spencer resigned from representational politics. Mr. Spencer served as MP for 18 years and was State Minister in the Ministry of National Security at the time of his resignation. On Tuesday, the House of Representatives paid tribute, thanking him for his contribution to Parliament and the people of Jamaica.
The former member, president of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, and in a sense represents the last of the outstanding work and leadership that has served in this House, and in the early years really set the tone and character of government.
When he served as Minister of Health in 2007 to 11, Roddy was one of those ministers who was approachable by everyone. I want to say to you, brethren, keep on being what you have been, a representative of the people of Jamaica. And if what we hear is true, then I know you'll be a good representative as ambassador for the people of Jamaica.
In response, Mr. Spencer expressed gratitude to his fellow parliamentarians and the people of Southeast Clarendon.
I am in the House with friends. on either side. Mr. Speaker, words seem almost inadequate to express in any appreciable way my true feelings.
The former Member of Parliament was first appointed to the Senate in 1993 and served as Leader of Opposition Business in the Upper House from 1995 to 1997. He was awarded the Order of Distinction Commander Class in 1995. Government will be making provisions for full-time security at the Vauxhall High School following the recent killing of 36-year-old Carl Samuels, a theatre arts teacher at the institution. The news was revealed by Minister with Oversight for Education, Carl Samuda, during a visit to the East Kingston School on Tuesday. The minister said he was in discussions with the permanent secretary and her senior staff to see how provisions could be made within the ministry's budget.
See to what extent we can make provisions for full-time security, people, staff, and equipment, surveillance equipment, cameras throughout the schools, and a monitoring system that will alert those who are charged with the responsibility of monitoring the activities of the school while school is in active session, and also the premises while the school is out on the weekends.
Mr. Samuels was reportedly attacked by two gunmen as he gathered material from his car and was in the process of closing the school compound at 7:35 p.m. on Saturday, January 25. The teacher, who was reported to be a licensed firearm holder, managed to take out one of his attackers but died on the way to the hospital. Starting this month, the Transport Authority's inspectors will be working on weekends and at nights to increase enforcement of public transport rules. Transport Minister Robert Montego says this is possible due to the employment of an additional 50 inspectors across the island.
Because a lot of the breaches take place on weekends and at nights. And if you can enforce that the man must wear his uniform at 1 a.m. in the morning, he will know that he must wear it at 11 a.m. in the morning. So we will be enforced, even when there's nobody else on the road and him want, we're going to enforce it. Because it must be a culture change. And therefore, in order to be more professional, it takes discipline and stick-to-itiveness. And we are determined to bring order to the public passenger industry.
Minister Montego was speaking on Tuesday at the Transport Authority and Hope National Service Corps Drivers Training launch. The Transport Authority is the agency responsible for regulating and monitoring public transportation on the island. And finally, the Universal Service Fund, USF, is encouraging persons to participate in its pre-Valentine's Day blood drive this Friday, February 7. The blood drive will be held at the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica's auditorium in New Kingston. USF is staging it in collaboration with the National Blood Transfusion Service from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. To donate, persons must be between the ages of 17 and 60 years old and weigh at least 110 pounds. Marketing and Public Relations Manager at USF, Deline Powell, says the annual event, dubbed Are You My Type, is just one way persons can give back during this season of love. Persons participating in the blood drive are being reminded to eat a good breakfast and ensure that they do not have any flu-like symptoms or are taking cold or flu medication. Interested individuals and companies can pre-register by emailing marketing@usf.gov.jm. The blood drive is part of the USF's Tech Love Social Responsibility Initiative. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
We have gone through the implementation phase of the primary exit profile PEP exam, and now we are approaching the second sitting. So what has been the review of the first and the approach to the upcoming exams on February 26, March 19 and 20? Here are the facts from Deputy Chief Education Officer from the Student Assessment Unit in the Ministry of Education, Terrian Thomas Gale.
Welcome to Get the Facts, a program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. The primary exit profile or PEP exams are coming up soon, and as some of our nation's children prepare themselves, we want to provide them with some useful information as well as for their parents. Joining us is Terrian Thomas Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education. Mrs. Gale, welcome to the program. So good to have you.
Thanks for having me, Ms. Gamble. It's a pleasure being here.
Great. How many students are registered for the PEP exams this year?
Okay, so for this year, we have a total of 39,561 students registered to sit the exam at the grade 6 level.
How does that compare with last year?
Last year, we had run about the same amount sitting the exams.
Okay. So PEP is in its second year.
Yes.
Give us an overview of what has happened since the start of the exam.
Okay, last year we had our first sitting of the primary exit profile for grades 4, 5, and 6. Our grade 6 students matriculated to grade 7 at the secondary level. Since then, we have continued with the piloting of our items. We maintain our testing processes. So we had item writing, piloting continues right throughout the year. We would have done our cognitive labs and our field studies on the items to ensure that they are valid and reliable going on to the test forms that will be administered throughout the year 2020.
Yes.
So this year, our grade 6 students will start the process come February 25th. The students will sit the primary exit profile for the ability test.
Okay, all right, before we go to that, tell us, there were some issues last year. How have you worked on improving those for this year?
The issues we had last year, seeing it was the first year being rolled out, we had issues such as the reporting mechanism. Persons were concerned about the use of the scale scores as against the percentage scores. What we did, we had workshops with our principals, especially those at the secondary level. So we went to all regions except for one region, which is still yet to be done. We would have walked our high school principals as to how it is that the reports should be interpreted, the intent of the assessment, and how it is that they can continue the development and the implementation of the National Standards Curriculum at grade 7. There was also the issues...
Grade 7?
Grade 7. So we met with the high school principals.
Yes.
Our primary school principals were part of the focus group that we did. We had selected school representatives such as at the primary level. We had the principals, the teachers, and the parents who formed part of our focus groups to look at the report and to give guidance as to what is needed, what are their needs on the students' report. We would have piloted those reports throughout the reporting mechanism last year, and we have received feedbacks and we have implemented the feedbacks that we would have received. For the grade 6 reporting, persons were concerned about the different scores. Now on the report we have scores such as the individual subject scores. We have the composite score. Now, this is a score that is used for placement, and this score is developed based on the weighting that is given. In the implementation of PEP and the rollout, we would have advised the system that the performance task measured valued 20%, and that was over a 3-year period. So at grades 4, when the students sit their performance task, it would value 5%. At grade 5, it would value 7%, and at grade 6, it would value 8%. And the ability test values 30%. And the curriculum-based test would value the remaining 50%. So of the individual subject scores for these subjects, only 50% in the case of the curriculum-based test, that would go towards the final, this placement. and 30% of what they would have gotten on the ability test added to that, and 20% of the performance task. And as well, there was the percentile, the ability test, because of the nature of the assessment, it is not reported using scaled score. It is reported using the percentile rank. And so this disparity was with the different scores.
Children can start earning marks from grade 4?
From grade 4. And that's one of the plus for PEP.
Yes.
Unlike GSAT, where it was a one-shot sitting down doing this exam at grade 6, for PEP, you actually start earning points as early as grade 4.
Parents can get help from the PEP app. Yes? Tell us a little about that.
Okay, so we have the PEP app, as well as we have a PEP website.
Yes.
On the PEP website, we would have, for this year, we would have published grade 6 publication. Within the grade 6 publication, there are items for the different components. So we have ability sample items. We have the curriculum-based sample items, so all 4 subject areas. And we have the performance tasks. All these sample items were from last year's paper. It is a plan of the ministry every year to release some of the items that were from the previous year's sitting. So that publication is available on the website. Parents can go on and have the children practice using those.
How do we get to the PEP app?
The PEP, the URL, it would be pep.moey.gov.jm. So once you type that in, the PEP website comes up and you can navigate, because it's really user-friendly.
Yes. Let's go to the PEP exams now.
Right.
You were saying the first one is in February. Tell us about
So come February 25th, our grade 6 students will sit the ability test. I want to remind our viewers that the ability test looks at reasoning verbally and quantitatively. So that exam is not aligned to the National Standards Curriculum. The students need at least a grade 4 level exposure to the school system to acquire those items. And on March 19th, that's Thursday, March 19th, we'll have the performance task in language arts, and on the 20th, we will have the performance task in mathematics.
How long are these papers?
The ability test is 1 hour and 15 minutes. The performance, the task, they're 2 hours long, but there's a break in between.
As we wrap, talk to our parents and our students as they get ready. They tend to get nervous, right? What would you say to our parents and students at this time?
Before I get there, I remember last year the students reported that it is much easier than everybody led them to believe. And I want to assure our parents that our students are ready. The students are ready for PEP. And I want you to just encourage your child, ensure that the child gets the rest before the exam. We want you to have conversation, because the more the child talks about what is being learned, the better it is for them to represent it on paper. Encourage your children to read the questions carefully, because the answers are there. Do not rush. There is adequate time to complete all the assessment. They don't need to rush to finish and to sit there. I want to also encourage us to be supportive. The teachers within our schools, they're aware of what is required for your students, and they are adequate enough to guide you in getting them ready for PEP.
Thank you so very much. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Terry Thomas Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. We wish our PEP students well and urge the parents to be calm. Until next time, when Get the Facts brings you another informative discussion, I'm Enthros Campbell. Do take good care.
Whatever illness you might have, it is important to visit the doctor at the earliest sign of sickness. For many conditions, early detection can lead to better outcomes. Don't stay at home and self-medicate and allow your condition to worsen before going to the doctor.
If you are a youngster, young child, 14 and younger, older person, or you have a compromised immune system, you have an underlying illness, a
cancer patient, a diabetic patient, then your system is compromised. You need to see the doctor quickly and let the doctor prescribe.
Visiting your doctor early protects your health, so you can enjoy more moments, more life.
A slew of activities have been scheduled throughout this month to celebrate reggae music. Here now are performances from the art exhibition and the church service.
Able to keep us from falling from every attack, know when the devil start tempting, from danger seen and unseen.
On the occasion of Reggae Month 2020 church service, the theme, come catch the rhythm at Fellowship Tabernacle, and we really catch the rhythm this morning.
Take me from the mud and put me in a class.
It is a joy to be in the house of the Lord to give thanks and praise to God for the music He has caused us to create and which has brought fame and fortune to our people.
Shooter, well that's the truth, yeah. The problem I have to stop from the root, yeah. Selector, help me pull up the one, yeah. Say one by one, shining like them up. Let's kick evil out of town, yeah.
But Lord, your ways are much higher than mine. Heart and my soul, I must get them in line. Need knowledge and patience, straight from the vine. As a Judah warrior, somebody cry out again.
This is an exhibition that began in Paris, the Philharmonie de Paris, and then made its way to Sao Paulo in Brazil, and now it's finally come home. It's an exploration of Jamaican music.
Jamaica showcases the broadest vision of Jamaican music, that which has allowed the world to know our music and to respect us.
What a bam bam, bam bam, salam bam. What a bam bam, bam bam, salam bam. Road Jack, don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Road Jack, don't you come back no more.
Up next, honoring outstanding musicians for their indelible contribution to the development of reggae music.
The 2012 National Honors and Awards recognized 7 members of the music industry: Toots Hibbert, Bunny Wailer, Peter Ashbourne, Lee Scratch Perry, Tony Gregory, and Clinton Jackson, with the very rare Order of Merit also given posthumously to the late Peter Tosh. Jamaican music reaches the soul of the people, unites us, and makes us forget our differences and problems. Musicians past and present have made a lasting impression on this lucrative and entertaining industry, leaving those touched by their works with no choice but to pay tribute.
Mr. Frederick Nathaniel Toots Hibbert.
Give it to me, give it to me, Toota.
On October 15, 2012, the engaging performer approached the podium at King's House to accept his second national honor. The first, received years before, was the Order of Distinction Officer rank. This time around, he was receiving the Order of Jamaica. A singer and songwriter, as well as a player of instruments, Frederick Toots Hibbert has made significant contribution to the development of reggae music in Jamaica. His contribution also spans festival song competitions, winning with songs such as Sweet and Dandy and What a Bam Bam.
Sitting in the midday sun, watching where my meal is coming from.
In the 50th year of his music career and the 25th of his passing, Peter Tosh was honored with the Order of Merit posthumously, the third highest national award in Jamaica. long overdue, some might add. This was received by his daughter, Nyambi McIntosh. Peter Tosh was honored for his influential contribution to the evolution of reggae music.
So if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. And if you can't take blows, brother, don't throw blows.
Jah, I got to keep on moving. Jah, I gotta get on out of town.
Another revolutionary and holder of the Order of Distinction, Commander rank, Boniwela's musical career continues to shape the development of Jamaica's music, resulting in his second honor, the Order of Jamaica, on October 15, 2012. His son Abijah Wailer received on his behalf.
He's done a lot for Jamaica in general, but reggae music and music, he's seen it through a lot of stages and he's seen it go through a lot of genres to become what it is today. So I think he would feel, I think he does feel like he deserves such an award, and like I said, he's Honorable Neville Livingston now, so he's very proud.
That's why I stand to predominate. I stand to predominate.
2003 Grammy-winning producer Lee Scratch Perry was among the likes of Peter Ashbourne to join the Commander rank in the Order of Distinction. A veteran musician and producer, Lee Scratch Perry played a major role in the development and acceptance of reggae and dub music in Jamaica and overseas.
Play on, Mr. Music. Play on. Rock the
Meanwhile, Peter Ashbourne, a very accomplished composer, pianist, and performer, has been one of Jamaica's major composer-arrangers of commercial music for more than 3 decades. Noted as one of Jamaica's most important and distinctive reggae bass players and pioneers, Clifton Jackie Jackson is also one of the founding fathers of Jamaican popular music. His role in the growth and development of our music during the ska era of the mid-1960s helped to usher in another of Jamaica's musical styles, rocksteady.
Gypsy, turn on my love light.
Released in 1982, Gypsy Girl remains a favorite among music lovers and to date is one of Tony Gregory's signature songs. In the music industry for decades, this reggae, soul and R&B recording artist has worked alongside Baron Lee and the Dragonaires as lead vocalist in the 60s.
The way that you go, sun is shining on the red shade. You wanna be, you're dancing deep. To the rescue, to the rescue, the lion. Hey, and anything you can do, I can do it better. I'm the best. I said I tried.
Music, the soother of our souls and the shrink of our lives. Not to mention the fun and excitement as it draws people together to unwind and have a good time. Indeed, musicians are heroes of a different kind.
Join us again tomorrow for another exciting program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.